Good morning, this is Brian Neal with Tradetobefree.com, and just want to go over a couple trading setups we're looking for today. We've got the first potential earnings eruptions trade this quarter, and that's on Nflx. And Nflx is actually breaking out of a double bottom pattern right now on a daily chart, or one of the more bullish patterns, consolidation patterns within a long-term uptrend. A lot of people like to trade double bottoms as a reversal pattern, and I do as well, but I like to find them on a reversal pattern in an intermediate downtrend within a longer term uptrend. Okay, if that makes sense to you. But basically what I'm saying is that there's different trends on different time frames, and you can see here that there's a short-term downtrend here for Nflx, there's a short-term downtrend here, and now there's a short-term uptrend. That's what I would call a short-term uptrend and downtrend over those time frames of just a few weeks. And over several weeks to a few months, like right here, this is an intermediate term downtrend. So during this downtrend within a longer term uptrend, because we're making higher highs and higher lows over many months and years, but in that consolidation or short or intermediate term downtrend within the long term uptrend, you sometimes see this double bottom pattern emerge, and it's done so right ahead of earnings, and it's actually breaking out now. Pre-market, after hours last night, and pre-market today, out of that pattern, and it'll probably do so in very strong volume, and that's a very good sign for the longer term. Normally, I'm gonna take a look at the pre-market chart here, and we can see that we had a really strong pattern up here earlier on last night and early this morning. Now it's kind of fallen out of that and kind of pulled back. I'll have to see where this opens. It's going to have to open a little higher than this, and I've got to check the other factors too in the earnings eruptions course. But I think it qualifies. Otherwise, then I'll be watching for a break of the pre-market highs. Now, one thing it doesn't qualify on is the earnings beat. It only beat by a penny. However, this stock tends to trade on subscriber growth, which was a blowout, and they beat by, I think, 80%, 100% on subscriber growth, on growth of subscribers. So that may translate into enough of a fundamental change for this stock to break out of the pre-market highs and make a big move. For me, it's a little more risky here. I think Nflx in the past has broken out of these pre-market patterns, broken the pre-market high and moved strongly higher. I think if you go back, let's see here, back in October of last year, I think that was an earnings beat here and actually trended higher for a few days. Didn't make a big move. The stock has a large float. Okay, so there's a lot of shares out there to be traded, and so it didn't make a big move quickly. It might still be of interest this morning, and if it breaks those pre-market highs, you might have a trade. But in this case, it may last or take a few days, where in most cases, these earnings eruptions trades will generally take, anywhere from 10, 15 minutes to an hour to reach that first target. And generally, I think the average is like a 6% move within the first hour based on our back testing. So, not real excited about Nflx, but it's something to watch today. And, it may make a big move over the next few days. It'll do so more slowly, though. And again, the bottom line didn't really beat, but subscriber growth did. Sales, I think, beat by a little bit. So, all in all, it's not a great trade for me, and it probably is something that I'll skip today. And we'll look for some more better earnings beats in the weeks ahead as earnings season starts. And the other thing I want to show you was this bottoming trade on Kohu. Now, Kohu reported early numbers last week, and they pre-announced, and they beat by a really wide margin on both the top and bottom line. And the valuation is still really low on this, even though it really surged yesterday. But it's breaking out of this bit unusual double bottom pattern, usually with the second leg lower, and when you take out that first low in the double bottom pattern, you want to do so, and you want to see a very sharp reversal right afterwards. We had that really sharp pullback in semiconductors after a strong move, and that got caught up in the downdraft here, and now it's coming back quickly after the big earnings beat. And if it breaks above 1974, 75 this morning on strong volume, that would be a good trade from here up to 2157. Although it's extended now from the 20 and the 9 EMA, so it may not be a real clean move. See how that goes. Also, another trade here for you on another stock in the same pattern, and let me see if I can find it here. It's in this chart list. All right, here's MPW. It's also breaking out of a good bottoming pattern here. We've got a nice gap here between the top of the prior day's candle up to the upper Bollinger Band. It's got a lot of momentum going higher here. The only problem with this trade, though, is that it looks like the repeal and replace bill may be turned into the repeal bill last night, so that may affect this stock, and there might be a lot more confusion in investors' minds and a lack of clarity. The prospects of this company may be changing a lot. I'm not sure, based on a change in the bill. So until investors get a clear idea of what that really means, what that announcement really means, and how it'll affect all the companies in the healthcare sector, this stock may not break the highs here and move higher. But I don't know, it might be a positive catalyst too. I'm not sure. I haven't done the research to know how it's going to affect this company. But I would say if it breaks 1305 this morning before, say, 10:30 on strong volume, I think it has a really good chance of getting up to the top of this Bollinger Band here around 1360 or just below that. So that's a nice little 4 or 5% window that may make that move within a day or two, and it's a nice little day trade or a very short swing trade. And it's also developing that nice long-term uptrend and going back above and finding more support at the 200-day and 150-day moving average. So, okay, guys, that's about it this morning. And we'll be watching Nflx. Again, I'm not real excited about that trade right now. It may be a good short trade if it goes lower, below that pre-market range. We'll see how that goes. All right, have a good day, guys. Talk to you soon.